Good morning, my friends. It's Thursday morning. It's August. It's not March anymore, but it has been the longest March in the history of the world. I'm here with my friend Dov Friedman. You might call him Mr. Friedman, co-founder and VP of Business Development for one of our excellent partners, CircuLive. And we're just excited to have him here. He might be known as the most interesting man on the world. You may have heard about that from somewhere else. Nope, it's this guy. It's this guy right here, right here.
Yes, that was a good point.
Did you like that? It took a little bit of strategery. We got a big group on here.
I'm definitely not as interesting as astronauts. The guys who just landed from the space center. But okay, I'll take it.
You're pretty interesting. And we've already got a huge crowd here. So hey, everybody! Just as always, remember in the comments, I want to know who you are. I want to know what school you're from. I want to know what you do. What institution are you part of? We're going to take questions the whole time. So throw them in there and Dov will answer them as we go. Holy cow, we got a lot of people on here. Don't be scared, Dov. This is it. Don't get scared.
I actually just told my kids, I said, this is different because it's not one customer, it's a whole lot of people. And they're like, how many? I said, I don't know. But the other week I did a session to go to webinar. It had 1,500 people on it. And they were like, 1,500 people. And I was like, yeah, they couldn't, my 8-year-old daughter could not contemplate the number of 1,500 people in one place.
That is too funny. Okay, so with that, pull that presentation up for me, Dov. We'll start sharing. Again, thanks everybody for dropping those comments in there. Reminder, if you haven't signed up for CanvasCon Online, October 15th, free. We've got Sal Khan, we've got LeVar Burton, we've got an incredible group of speakers. And did I mention it's free? Join us. Dov, with that, I hand it over to you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I would very much, I will reiterate that I would very much like everybody to please put who you are and where you are in the comments. This way, it's great for us just to see the fact that collaboration really is everywhere and that everybody can join and be with each other from the safety of their own home. Really, I've been sitting in this chair that I'm in with this background literally since March. I mean, it happens to be I've been working at home for over 10 years. So when COVID hit and everyone's like, what are we gonna do, work from home? I'm like, I'm just gonna go to work. which is why like we like say in our company, we like to eat our own dog food. Like we've been using these platforms and we've been teaching with these platforms with the live interactive web conferencing platforms for over 10 years. I was also, I'm a former teacher as well, and I was super scared when I first came into the company. Like I'm telling you, that was almost 11 years ago. I never used a web conferencing platform in my life because they were so brand new. And now it's literally it didn't take 10 years, but it's literally like second nature. I just sit here and we do our job and we meet with hundreds of people across the world. Literally, I was in a session 2 days ago where I had someone from Australia. A customer was from Australia, and the partner was in England, and I'm in Israel, and another person from the partner was in the U.S. And it was like a seamless. It was just a seamless system where we could all collaborate with each other, which I think is tremendous. It's just an unbelievable opportunity. But anyways, enough about that. So my name is Dov Friedman, and I am a co-founder and the vice president of business development at CircuLive. I want to stress, I'm going to talk a little bit about the company, obviously, but that's not the purpose of this session. The purpose of the session really is to, I'm sure you read about it, what the topics were, but to figure out in a short period of time, maybe my tips and tricks of doing this for, like I said, over the last 10 years, of how to make you as teachers, as admins, as principals, as IT people, comfortable in using the platforms that we have available to us, web conferencing platforms, whether that's Zoom, whether that's GoToMeeting, WebEx, BlueJeans, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, whatever you decide to use. The purpose is, how can we make you feel the most comfortable in doing it, whether you're first time, whether you're a veteran. We know that the students know how to use it, right? We know that kids know how to use these things because they're on their phones all the time, and they're iMessaging, and they're chatting, and they're WhatsApping, and they're videoing. Everybody, my kids do it. Everybody's kids do it, right? My parents live. I'm in Israel, like I said. My parents in the U.S. and my sister's in the U.S. and they just get on their phone, click a button, and they're video chatting, and they know how to collaborate with each other. But us as teachers, to try to engage the students and try to get them involved, sometimes can be a little bit more difficult with the technology. We're staring at a screen. We're staring at, and we're not in front of people like we're used to. So it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get used to it. And that, I think, is very valid, but I think we can overcome that very, very quickly. And I just want to show some very brief tips and tricks, including a little bit about our integration and how that, I think, can help smooth the process for you. And let's get started. So just a little bit about our company. So we're a cloud-based SaaS gold standard integration for web conferencing and LMSs. We work with higher ed, K-12, and corporate training markets. Now, K-12, literally every day, I'm meeting with more and more K-12 customers who are just like, help. What do we do? Where do we go? How do we go? Because we've never done this before. CircuLive is deployed in hundreds of universities, K-12 institutions, corporations around the globe. And we've built our integration on three principles, which is ease of use, scalability, and security. Obviously, the scalability comes with the ease of use, and I'll show it to you a little bit later what I'm talking about. And security, security, security. We guarantee 99.9%, nothing's ever 100%, that there will be no quote-unquote Zoom bombings. The people who are supposed to be in your sessions, if you use our integration, will be there. We do that because we use a unique URL in every session that's scheduled that cannot be copied and pasted or put anywhere else. It's a fantastic tool. We've had millions, literally millions of people going through our system over the last 6 months since COVID started, and I don't think we've gotten a single complaint about my session was Zoom bombed unless they didn't follow our very strict directions. We also offer enhanced data and analytics. So you can know who's using it and when based upon the usage inside of Canvas, which is great. So if you buy a lot of licenses and you only have some teachers using it, only the people, we give you that specific usage data for only the people that are inside of Canvas. They're using it our integration inside of Canvas itself, which is great, and also helps prevent cheating because you'll actually know who's there, right? When you get the accurate name and you get accurate data and analytics and accurate attendance records, you will know that the people who are supposed to be there are there and not other people. And like I said, we're just solving a lot of live online learning issues, streamlining the online training process, compatibility, security. And the beauty of what we do is that you have choice. So we can integrate with many web conferencing platforms, including GoToMeeting, GoToTraining, GoToWebinar, WebEx, Zoom Webinars, BlueJeans. So you can really, the top ones out there you can choose, and you can integrate it seamlessly into Canvas. Okay, enough about the company. Until later, I'll show you just a brief demo of what we're talking about. So just, I think some issues and then some benefits of what we're doing here. So some of the issues I think that we all can relate to, of when, where, what, why, how. These are some basic questions like, if I've never seen a web conferencing platform before, I haven't been trained on web conferencing, I've used maybe Zoom here and there, the security problems or issues, I'm nervous about going online. How am I going to interact with my students? It's the beauty of these issues is that they're solvable. The web conferencing platform actually solves a lot of the issues that we have with a lot of these nerves, a lot of things that we're not sure about. The web conferencing platform we'll show you in a second can really solve a lot of these issues. So for example, I'm used to talking to a person. How do I interact with that person? Well, there's a chat. How do I, the person doesn't want to talk in class or acts up in class or doesn't pay attention. Well, I can tell you a very good example from my own family. So my son was 14 years old. He is a very smart kid, but he doesn't love school, right? He gets bored, the ADHD kicks in, he gets bored very, very quickly. But when he's online, from March until June, when he had classes, he attended classes online every day. He got up, he was attentive, he participated. And it was fantastic for him because number one, he was very comfortable in front of the screen, but other than that, he was literally in his room, in a safe place, in a place where nobody was bothering him or making fun of him, and it really was a fantastic experience for him. I mean, again, there's nothing that really beats being in person, but it's pretty darn close, especially for the kids who are not so social. And I'm sure a lot of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, other things, just in general, when people are very nervous to learn new technologies. How do I start a session? How do I get people to join the session? How do I know who's joining the session? How do I where do I record? Where do I hit the record button? What if I forget to record? All these things cause a lot of anxiety. Number one, our integration solves a lot of these problems by automation, that's the word, the process of scheduling and viewing the recordings automatically and attendance records and having virtual office hours. So it really makes things a lot easier for you by integrating it into the Film Your Platform LMS. But that is an issue. A lot of people out there, a lot of even experienced teachers out there, people who even know about technology, they're just nervous about um, bringing on a new technology and scaling it to the mass. And that is a very, very valid concern. How do we support it? What if it goes down? What if I am a university and I have hundreds of people coming and relying on the fact that I need to now do a web conference and make sure that it's working. So these are valid concerns. These are valid concerns, and with integrations and with the proper training and knowing the tips and tricks, the concerns really they don't 100% go away. There's always going to be a concern, but they are minimized. I mean, I deal with literally, I say it and I really mean it. Every day, me and my team and my partners are meeting with people across the globe who are just starting web conferencing now. They don't know when they're going to be in school, if they're going to be in school, who's going to be there. And the second we say, calm down, take it piece by piece. Number one, you have an integration. Number two, here's where the chat box is. Number three, here's where this is. Here's where you do here. They're like, okay, now I understand, and I can fully start to move forward and feel more comfortable with the technologies. And that goes for Canvas too. Canvas is a fantastic platform, and it's the LMS is amazing, and what it offers is amazing. But you still have to get used to it. You still have to understand where my test goes, where my quiz goes, where my homework goes. But it's once you get it, it's like, wow, where has this been my whole life? And it's amazing. Same thing with web conferencing. Like once you realize I can do a webinar, an easy webinar, or a simple GoToMeeting session with anybody from across the world, and I just click a button in the LMS and it goes directly to that session, and that person is waiting for me. So I'm in New York, or I'm California, or in Chicago, or in Cleveland, or wherever, Florida, Texas, and I'm teaching my kids about Chinese history, right? Not only can I collaborate with a person who's in China or in Japan or Singapore or in Israel. I want to learn the history of the Middle East, right? So I want to meet with, I want to hear people from the Arab perspective, from the Jewish perspective, from the Christian perspective, from historians who have dedicated their lives to this. I don't have to bring them into the classroom. I can just click a button in Canvas and it goes into that web conferencing session, and boom, there you go, right? So exactly what's written here on the screen. Teaching can be done anywhere, anytime, on any device. The device is in front of the child, right? Many schools across the world and in the US have had device programs. I met with one yesterday. It's like they were a Canvas customer. Every one of our students in a school district has an iPad. We've given them all iPads. Fantastic. So that they have the device, they have the internet at home. They can literally, they can go to their room, they can go to a corner, they can go somewhere outside, and they can sit on any device anywhere at any time. This thing here is more powerful than, our cell phones are more powerful than anything else. We all take classes on it. It's unbelievable what can be done, and you can meet with anybody who's anywhere, which is amazing. And like I said before, Canvas really keeps things organized, and the integration enhances the ease of use of the Canvas itself, right? And to manage the live sessions across the board, right? So your live sessions are managed inside of Canvas. You know Canvas already. And like I said, the recordings are there, the attendance records are there, the data and analytics, it's all managed so simple. It's a click of a button and you go. So it's taking really 3 amazing platforms. When you take Canvas and you take your web conferencing system, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining, GoToWebinar, Zoom, Zoom, WebEx, etc., and you put it together inside of Canvas, the 3 platforms just work seamlessly together, and it's an amazing experience for teacher, admin, and for student. And again, like I said before, there's chat, there's recordings, there's annotation available. So I mean, just the fact that you can record, I know you can do this all in the classroom itself, right? There's now many classrooms have screens and cameras to record you, and it's connected to the web conferencing, but it's not every student sitting there and looking and interacting, right? I'll go to the next slide. If you look here, right, this is, I picked Israel, so that's where I am, so that's where I picked. But you can pull Google Earth, right? You can pull Google Earth up. This happens to be in GoToTraining that I was in. You can pull up Go to Earth, right, in the classroom on a big screen. But what are the kids doing, right? If they don't have their device, not every school, everybody has their device and they're sitting like this where the teacher's up in the front on the screen. They're looking at the teacher in the screen, maybe a screen in the front, maybe a screen in the back, but they're looking at the teacher. So but when you have your own device, especially if you have a touch screen, right? If you're on an iPad or an Android or whatever it is, right? Or your computer has touch screen on it, you can share Google Earth. You see here, there's the arrow. You can annotate. You can give the students the ability to annotate. You can monitor the chats, which are important while they're annotating. Well, this student might be embarrassed in class to raise their hand and say, I have a question, because they may think it's not a good question and they don't want to be embarrassed and they want people to make fun of them. But when you have chat and says, I want to annotate, I would like to show where this is, but I'm not sure where this is. Can you help me? So sure, the teacher can then move the whole screen over. The teacher can then tell that student, it's right over here. Why don't you take the annotation and draw on the board, right? Let's do a math problem together. These things are, I mean, the tools that are available to us are just amazing. We just have to feel comfortable and we have to jump into it. And I think that's the key, right? If we're scared, that's fine. But we're in a situation now where we have to get over that. It's hard to do. Don't get me wrong. But like I'm on a stream platform. I never used it. And I was a little bit nervous because there's a lot of people watching me right now and to make sure that I did it right. But I know that I want to just jump into it. I want my students and I want to train people and I want people to learn that not to be scared of the web conferencing platform, right? Not to be scared of turning on your camera, right? Camera is like the biggest thing. Turn on your camera. Every meeting I'm in, I ask, please turn on your camera so I can see you, so I can interact with you, so we can be as close to each other as possible. And I also want to add one thing, which I didn't mention before, right? You can have, and in the classroom particularly, very good camera that follows you and does all these things and has great microphones, and that's wonderful and that's needed. But when you're at home and your district is tight on money, you're probably not going to have a dedicated device that's sitting with you going back and forth and sitting on your desk. I meet with people, like I said, all over the world, and I have a headset, which was a little bit, I happened to be $100 headset, but I was using before this a $30 headset. And I have just a plain Logitech camera, which is, I think it's 720p that I've had for 3-4 years, and my computer is a few years old. So I don't have the latest and the greatest hardware, and it still works flawlessly. That's the beauty, right? You just pick up your device and you just turn on the only suggestion I would make, major suggestion, forget the camera for a second, because the cameras are okay if you're using a laptop. Get a mic or a headset. Get some earbuds. Anything is better than the microphone on the camera. You want your students to be able to hear you. You have a lot of information to tell them. That is super important. I bought 3 for my kids for $30 on Amazon, and they're fantastic. So that's my overall suggestions. Again, just to summarize, jump in, don't be scared, use the tools that are there for you already, use the annotation, use Google Earth, use websites, zoom in, have the students interact, use the chat, have everybody turn on the cameras. Almost all the platforms out there can support 25 plus cameras. that can show at the same time. Use the tools. You are all fantastic educators that understand the value of interaction with your students, and you can have that similar interaction, if not even better in some cases, for those kids who are a little bit shyer and don't want to raise their hand online. It's not exactly the same. You're not physically there with the person, but you're as close as it can be. And with the quality of what we're doing right now, and of the fantastic systems that are out there, it's just, to me, it's like a no-brainer. Just jump in and do it. Now, I would be dumb if I didn't, and I probably would be fired if I didn't show you, just for literally 1 second. I want to show you the integration, if that's okay. And just bear with me, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say ease of use and how to make it work together. So here's my canvas. I'm going to go into a course here called here, I'll do this one, called Speedway. Okay. Again, we can integrate with Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining, GoToWebinar, and BlueJeans. All the same. Exactly what you see is exactly what you're going to do. We do it via LTI, so it's all done in the cloud, sits on our system. Very simple, very easy to use. Okay. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back 1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to actually go into this one here. Here, if I click on this one here, okay, and I'm going to go into where it says go to. It's the same thing. It happened to pop out, so I just want to show you how it looks exactly inside of Canvas. This one too is going to pop out. Okay, so here we go. So this is the integration. Okay, I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically, as you see, you can schedule an event. Okay, here I just happen to have it with GoToMeeting. Again, it works exactly the same with Zoom, for WebEx, etc. I scheduled a GoToMeeting here. I can, as a teacher, I can do some admin things over here where I can delete the session. I can invite guests. I can edit the session. As a student, I don't have that. Instead of the host button, it says join. Okay, and I don't have the admin rights over here. This, if you'll notice, through this whole process, I still have not gone to the back end. I have not copied and pasted a link. It's all done straight from inside the LMS. When we're talking about the security before, which is probably the most important thing out of everything, if I hover over the host button, you see on the bottom of the page that says time zone, by the time zone settings. That's a long URL. That's our unique URL system, which does not use a personal meeting room link. That cannot be copied and pasted and sent to anybody, any student, any teacher. It doesn't matter, people from the outside. So as long as you're going through our system, you'll have the ability to know that the people inside of our platform are the ones that have joined through our system, are the ones in the session that are actually the people that are there, which I think is a big deal to get off people's heads, saying, I don't know that who I'm actually going to, I've put this link publicly and I've sent it to people, and let's hope and pray that nobody gets in. And by the way, we have office hours or appointment bookings or parent-teacher conferences, etc., that are done virtually, which is the same type of system here. But each one of these slots that you'll reserve as a teacher will have also a unique URL, right? We can I can customize it and personalize it if I would like, with my slot durations and how much time I want in between each slots. And again, the beauty is that each one of these has its own unique URL. So you're not just keeping a room open and saying, okay, come in, come out, see what's going on. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'll have to throw you out. Oops, I forgot to password it. I don't know what's going on, and get all complicated. I like to tell people, you would never, ever, ever have somebody come into your office, even if the door is open, while you're meeting with the parents. You would just never do that. You never have students come in or other parents come in. So if you won't do that in person, you don't want to do that online as well. And as I mentioned before, we have the recordings here where you can pull in. You have access to the recordings in an organized way. Okay, where you can if it's available in the back end of your platform, it's available by us as well. Inside of here, it's sitting in the back end of the platform. You just have easy access to it in an organized way. So you don't have to go to the back end. You don't have to copy and paste links. There's no excuses for students saying, I didn't see the course, I didn't see this, I didn't see the link to the thing, it went to my spam, it got deleted. All done automatically. And attendance records as well, as you can see. We can pull that very easily, very simply, automatically inside of the LMS. It's available in the back end. it's available inside your LMS. So again, I'm going to stop sharing now. I am happy to take any questions that you have. And again, the purpose of this was easy, simple, security, scalability for the integration. Not to be scared of what's going on inside of your school. You don't know when school's going to start, if school's going to start, how school's going to start. Okay, so you have to teach on web conferencing. You have to teach on Zoom or whatever other platform it is. No problem, right? With an integration and with a little bit of training, the tools, as I showed you, are there. Obviously, I can go on much longer if we had more time, but I just, we're happy to connect with whomever would like, if you would like help in learning and learning about more about how to teach online. Like I said, my partners and I have been doing this for over 10 years, and we do it every day. We're showing people how they can utilize the tools within the LMS, within Canvas, and within our system and the web conferencing platform to make it easier for the students, for the teachers, and for the admins. And that is really the goal. So the teachers can teach, the students can learn, and all the other admin stuff can just be, thank you very much, we don't need to deal with that. We just want to teach, and focus on that. And that, I think, is really the important message. And with that, I'm going to stop talking and pass it on to questions.
Awesome. So question number one here from Terry on LinkedIn. So she brought up the parent-teacher conferences, which is obviously something that people are dealing with, have been dealing with the past 4 or 5 months as we've been in this pandemic. Do you see a lot of people who are using this integration to handle things like parent-teacher conferences?
Yes. So that appointment booking does exactly that. So a lot of these, especially in K-12, the parents have access to the LMS. They know the username and password because their students are younger, maybe, or not in high school, so they can have access to the platform as well. And those parent-teacher conferences, those schedules fill up. And like I said, the beauty is that it's that secure link. So if I'm scheduling if I'm a teacher and I have a 2-hour block of time and I have 15 minutes for each parent, I know that it's not just open. Number one, I don't have to do anything. I just have to click in and click out of each session. But I know that the parent who I'm going to meet with is actually the parent that's supposed to be there, and that no one else is going to be there to, God forbid, Zoom bomb or join that they're not supposed to be. So yes, absolutely, people are using it for parent-teacher conferences.
What about this one on YouTube? This is more of a specific question for Zoom and others with the web conferencing, and maybe it's something with CircuLive. Do you have the option to break classes out into smaller groups?
Yeah, so that depends on which platform that you're using. So for example, Zoom Meetings has breakout rooms with LogMeIn and GoToTraining has breakout rooms. WebEx had it in Training Center or WebEx Trainings, and now they've moved it over to WebEx Meeting. I believe BlueJeans has that as well. So most of the major platforms that are out there that people are teaching on have it. I don't know about Teams, and I'm not sure. I think Teams is working on it. And I also think that Google Hangout or Meet now has put also a press release that they're working on that as well. So yes, it is there, and most of the platforms have some way of breaking out or are working on some way of doing breakout sessions.
Awesome. Charlotte, I am on a call today, actually, a Zoom meeting with a whole bunch of educators from around the nation where we will be breaking up into specific groups. So yes, it's a feature that exists. As Dov said, it totally depends on the platform that you're using. Adam from Facebook, looks like you're saying, is there a demo like this for parents? Adam, give me some specifics there. Are you looking for a demo for Canvas? Or are you looking for a demo as to how to set this up? Joining it for a parent with CircuLive would be really easy. Do you want to talk, Dov, about that? Like, how would, if a student is supposed to join a meeting at 11 o'clock, where would the parent actually see that information to get their student into the session?
So they would see it inside of Canvas. So inside of our platform, inside of Canvas. So they would go to, like, it's an LTI button. I see just a question there of how it connects. So it connects via LTI. So the Canvas admin of the school puts in that LTI link on the side of Canvas where it said where I had go to. We could say Zoom or whatever it is, or you can name it online classes. You can name whatever you'd like because it's LTI. They would go into our platform, and then the student would see the join button, and they just see their whole schedule of what's there, and they just hit that join button. By the way, we can also integrate it into personal calendar. So if someone wants it has Google Calendar or Outlook, they can do that. And a very popular question we have is, can it integrate into Canvas calendar? That's on our roadmap coming very soon. A lot of people are asking about that, so that's something that's coming very soon. But at the moment, they would go just into our system, and they would see the list of classes that they have, the times and the date for that specific course, and they would hit join when that time comes, and voila, and they go.
Awesome. I am dropping some links right now for anybody who's interested. We do have some training resources about Canvas for parents. I will keep dropping those in. There's multiple. Again, as everybody knows, we've been doing these for a long time. We've probably done about 100 of these live streams over the past 4 or 5 months. And I understand it could be a little bit daunting to figure out where everything is. Feel free to shoot me a note, mark.booth, B-O-O-T-H-E, at instructure.com if you have any questions or you need help on finding XYZ resource. Other thing to make sure you're aware of, if you're not a part of the Canvas community, it is a group of 700,000+ educators who are doing just really incredible things with Canvas. Go to community.canvaslms.com. If you haven't joined it, you are missing out. You can get a whole bunch of great information about partners on there. You want to understand better what a module is. You want to understand how to use assignments, how to use SpeedGrader, on and on and on. Those resources are there and available. So check it out. Let's look to this next one on Facebook. Martin is saying, is it just a link? Also, it doesn't always make entry in my calendar. So we were just barely talking about that now. So within Canvas LMS, does it show up in the Canvas calendar? The link? It does not. It does not.
Right. It can show up in our scheduler, or you can push it to your personal calendar as well. So if you have a Google Calendar and you want the schedule to be in your Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar, you can do that. And it's on our very near roadmap as we speak. We're working on it to have it integrate into the Canvas calendar itself.
Awesome. Okay, I just dropped another link to the, you know what I'm going to do really quick. I just dropped another link to the parent, and there are a lot more than that. Really quickly, I'm going to put a link to these videos. You can find them on instructure.com, but let's not make you search when I can just send it to you. No use.
Make it easy, my man, Mark. Making it easy.
Oh, Todd, you're wanting my email address. Please only send me one if you're sending cookies. But if you are indeed sending me cookies, Todd, Mark, MARK.booth, BOOTHE, at instructure.com. Send me a note, ask me for resources, tell me what in the world you want to have live streamed about, and we'll do it.
And my email you could see right here, right? It's Dove, D-O-V, at circulive.com, and you can feel free to reach out to me as well with any questions. If you want us to come and do a quick 15-minute, half an hour session with whomever, an hour session to train, to see, to demo, to figure out how to get all this together. It's all confusing. I know school's starting soon and everybody's scrambling, but please feel free to reach out to me. I'm available almost always. And I'm happy to help really as much as possible. Me and my partners and our staff and our teams are really, we want to support you and we want to help, irrespective of purchasing an integration or integrating into Canvas, whatever you want. Like, we're really here to help, and we really want to, because we know, like I said, we've been doing this for so long, but we know that a lot of people, most of the people who are doing it now and over the last 6 months haven't been. And there is that fear, and we're happy to really share our knowledge and experience as much as we can.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, with that, we're going to sign off. We are back on Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. I'm taking time off tomorrow, guys. This is my 10-year anniversary. Go ahead, send congratulations and cookies. So we're off tomorrow, but Monday we are back at 10:30 a.m. Mountain. Dove, thanks so much for joining us. Big thanks to our partners at CircuLive. We are huge, huge fans. Thanks for everything they're doing for the great community. We'll see everybody Monday.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.